What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another video. This is part 2 of the valve cover gasket replacement. We did part 1, which is the driver side, and I'm all done on this side. Now it's part 2, which is the passenger side, and I'm hoping the passenger side is a little bit easier than the driver side, but we'll see. But I know for these two, especially that one right here, ignition coil, we're gonna have some problem. As you can see here, we barely have any room here to do anything, and that's the same problem that I was facing for this side. So let's get started. Looks like I have to remove this fuel line right here, this one right there, and we're gonna unscrew this bolt like this. This is the wire for the battery, and it connects on this bolt right here, right there, like that. And it looks like I'm gonna have to remove this oil dipstick, and then I can start removing the high pressure fuel pump, and then I'll do the ignition coils. And looks like we have another plastic trim down here as well, just like the other side. I'm just gonna put a towel underneath here because I don't know it's fuel. The way you do this, believe you just push this down like that. That's it. It is so windy, and then you just kind of press and release like this. Yep, that's fuel. Now I believe I can remove it from here, and then I have to remove this bolt right here because it holds the fuel lines. And then I remove the high pressure fuel pump. Covers out of the way. Now I can remove this fuel line right here. I'll put a towel here so we don't get fuel everywhere. This fuel line, push this one back. All right, so I just got these fuel lines off. So now I'm just gonna remove these two lines. Now this is the one is the same as part 1. This one you have to watch out for. I already loosened that up a little bit. You basically, the way you do this, you have to hold the bottom while you unscrew the top. If you don't do this, you're gonna mess this one up, and then you're gonna need a new fuel pump. Now, just like the driver side, there's a washer up here, and there's one down here as well. So when you lift this up, you just have to make sure you grab the one down there, but I have a new one, so it doesn't matter. And that's the one in the bottom. And it looks like I have to do the same thing that I did for the driver side. You see that fuel line right here? There's 2 bolts that hold it. You see how it's tight, it won't move like freely, that one especially. So what you do is just loose these 2, and then you'll be able to free these 2. So now it's a lot easier to move this one especially. But that one up here is still giving me a fight, but I think I can lift it. It looks like I'm gonna have to remove this connector right here so I can have more room to move these fuel lines over, so I can get them completely out of the way. So I removed the bolt from the fuel line completely. So as you can see now, I push it out of the way. So now this one I have to try to move it up, but I think that's the only thing I can do here, because I feel like I cannot remove this thing. I guess I can press this down, and I think what I'm gonna do is remove the fuel pump, and then to remove the valve cover I can just hold this up like this. But for now I'm just gonna leave this like that, and then I'll start removing the ignition coils. Hot because your camera just keep freezing and hot and stop working. Let's see if I can get this one right here. That would be very helpful. And again, I already loosed this up, I forgot. Looks like this one right there is gonna be the problem. And if I pull this, oh okay, apparently the front one here is a lot better compared to this one. So let me see if I know I did it. So this one I need a flex head for it. Now this is when we find out if it'll come off or not. Yeah, I didn't think so. Maybe if I remove this, just maybe, we'll leave this here for now. I'll try to remove this, but in the meantime I can try to remove the oil dipstick. No luck with the flex. It feels like I'm just gonna break it. Just gonna use one of these. So I unscrewed the oil dipstick and I removed that trim that was here. It was this one, but still this thing won't come off. It's stuck here, so it seems like it's gonna be the same process as over there, where I have to take this off with the valve cover and put the new one on with the valve cover. But at least this side is a lot easier. I was thinking that this side was gonna be harder, but I think that side was harder. So now I'm just gonna remove this plastic trim right here. All right, so the plastic cover is off, and this is what it looks like. It's super dirty, and it's the same down here. It's like the fuel pump gasket is leaking, the oil is leaking. It's a mess in here. So now I'm just gonna have to remove this tube. Come on, there we go. and just leave it up here like this. And now I think the only thing I really have to do now is remove the high pressure fuel pump, and then we can remove the actual valve cover. Okay, now let's lift the fuel pump slowly. I'm gonna have to clean this because it's extremely dirty. And we have it our cover. Let's do this slowly so we don't drop anything in there, because this thing is, oh my god, this is so dirty. So let me cover this so we don't get anything inside the engine, and then I'll clean around here first before I lift that thing up, because this is disgusting. You can see this is gross. So now it is time to start removing all the bolts so we can lift this valve cover up. Okay, so I just remove all the bolts. Now remember, the one, let's see, 1, 2, especially these two down here, you gonna need a flex head, but other than that the rest are pretty easy. And there's one all the way back there, and it's not too bad, it's just this plastic trim is on the way, but other than that it's fine. Now the only thing that I have left to do is to lift this thing up. Now this part of the high pressure fuel pump, I'll leave it there because there's so much dirt right there. I just don't want it to fall inside the engine. And then this one I'll probably have to lift it like this. Other than that, I am ready to pull this thing off. The only thing is I will vacuum it first before, because there's so much dirt here. It's crazy. We got this one out. Take this one off. Just came out on its own. So this is what the engine look like, and the chains are tight, which is good, just like the other side. Now remember, these two washers, you have to remove them, and I have no ones to put on. And let's remove this one. All right, that's the second one. Put them up here. So the engine looks good, really good. Now the only thing I have to do now is clean up. I have to clean the edges, and then I'll cover this with a plastic bag until we do the valve cover. Look at this thing, looks terrible. So I cleaned the edges a little bit, but I will clean them properly. But for now, I just put a plastic cover and a towel on top of these, and then I think I will stop here for today because it's getting late and it's hot outside. All right, let's remove the old gasket before we clean this thing up. It's just like the other side. It's like that. There we go. Now I have to remove these three crankshaft sensors. There's one here, one up here, and one up there, and then I can clean that thing up. Just like that, it has been a few days. I cleaned this as much as I could. I tried to remove these crankshaft sensors, but only this one would come off. These two, I didn't fight with them. I just let them be. I just use a tape to cover them and clean this. And this one right here, the VVT, I could not get that one off, and it was the same thing when I did part one of the valve cover gasket for the driver side. I could not get this off either, so I just cover it with some tape and then clean here. Like I said, these things look bad before, as you guys saw the clip, but now it looks a lot better. So I'm just gonna install the new seals for the spark plugs and the high pressure fuel pump and the valve cover gasket itself, and then we can move on and put this thing back on the car. Again, this is the part number for the high pressure fuel pump gasket. It's the same as the driver side, and this is the gasket for the tube. It's all the same, but this is the part number for the passenger side. Now if you guys watch part one of this video for the driver side, the last two numbers is 20 and this one is 30. I believe it was 20. I can't remember. I'll put the number for you guys, or just go ahead and watch part one. I believe it ends with 20. That one ends with 30. All right, just like that, I have all the seals installed. Everything is looking great. Let me turn it around. Just like this, you got your spark plugs, seal, high pressure fuel pump, and the valve cover gasket. You know, this is the good thing about buying OEM parts. Everything fits perfectly fine, especially, let me turn this, the valve cover gasket. What I realized, usually when you do valve cover gasket on the car, you go to your local auto parts and buy them. They usually lose they keep falling off while you moving the valve cover, but these just sit there. Once you make sure that you align everything properly, you can shake this and then the gasket just sit there. It doesn't move, which was the same thing for the driver side. That's why when you doing stuff like this, just buy OEM part from Lexus. That's just what I think. All right, now we are ready to put this back on the car so I can move on to the next project for this car. Not project, next repair, which is the valve plate leak. Let's put this thing back on the car and then we'll finish this video, and the next one will be valve plate leak. And of course we have our new ignition coils. That's the original one, and that's the part number right there, and this is what was in there. Now these are expensive. They cost $123 each, but if you buy them online they're like $96 each. And I don't know how this works. The original MSRP for these is $123, but let's see you working in the dealer and buy this, they'll make it you pay $123 for them. But the same dealer, you can go on their website and order it for $96. I don't get it. All right, let's move on. So before we put the valve cover back, there's a few things that we have to do. You see this line right here and this one right there. This part is the timing chain cover, and you have to apply this seal on it. So if you don't apply this seal right here and down there, it's gonna leak. So it's pretty much the same thing we did for the driver side. We have to apply this and then wait for 12 to 15 minutes, and then we can put the valve cover back. And then for the high pressure fuel pump, we have these two black O-ring that we have to put here first, and then we'll put the valve cover back. We're gonna put these two new O-rings back, and then now I'm gonna apply the seal. Now applying this seal can be a little bit tricky, so the idea is you have to apply it a bit between the crack so the oil doesn't leak, but you just make sure that it doesn't go inside the engine. And this side is a lot easier than the driver side, because the driver side, the top one was easy to do, but the bottom I didn't have any room at all. I had to use my finger, but here I have space here to access the bottom and the top. Now I'll just wait. I set a timer. I'll just wait around 12 minutes. I'll start putting the valve cover back. All right, let's go ahead and install our valve cover. Now before I place this, I need to grab one of the ignition coils. Remember that one right there, you kind of have to put them in together. So let's do this. Hopefully it doesn't give me a fight. There we go. I can go around and make sure this seal is still in place. Look, which it is. And let's just align this properly. Now I'm just gonna get a flashlight and go around and make sure that everything is there in place, which I think it is, and then we'll start. We'll put the bolts back, but I'm not gonna tuck them down yet. I'll wait until I'm done with the fuel pump. Now before I move on, let me put this ignition coil back at least, and I have to remove this out of the way. And other than that, I think it should be fine, because that's what I did last time. Let's see. Yep, that's good. That is good. And now I can just place this back where it was. Wait. Okay, just like that, I place all the bolts, but now, like I said, I didn't tuck them down yet. So now I'm just gonna place that plate right here where it was, right there. And then we have our new escalator, that's the part number, and then it goes like this. Come on, don't fight with me. There we go. That's the new one. That's how it's supposed to be. And then now we can place the high pressure fuel pump back, and goes in like that. Something's always on the way. Just like this. All right, now we're just gonna have to place the bolt back. Got one here and one on this side. Super easy. And like I said, the passenger side is night and day different. Everything for the valve cover, the torque spec is 7 foot-pounds. Ignition coil 7. For the fuel pump, for some reason I can't find it. I'm just gonna tighten it as it was before, and I think that should be good. And I bought this from Amazon and it works great, just like I did for the driver side. All right, I'll do the same thing for the rest of them. So I just got done torquing down all the bolts. Now I would say these, like 1, 2, 3, these 3 down there, they're the hardest one, but I was able to use this down there, not with this 10 mil though, with this one right there. So now I'm just gonna torque down the ignition coils, and then we'll move on to the fuel lines. Alrighty, let's move on to the fuel line. So this one right here, I remember it goes this line, remember it goes here, and I had to remove the bolt. So I'm just gonna put this bolt back, and then I can matter of fact, what I'm here, let me just turn this around. This goes here, and then I can install everything back together. Alright, so I put the fuel line back together. I just have to move it here like this. That's how it's gonna be. And this one, let's put this back in place. I have to get this together. Finally get this thing on. This thing gave me a fight, but I'm not gonna torque it down all the way yet. Let me install this bolt for the high pressure fuel pump. And remember, this thing comes with 2 washers. These are new, one on top here and one in the bottom will meet right there. Make sure that this see, just make sure when you put this back on, it's in there straight. That's it. And this one, right, now we just have to torque this down. This one is a 22. And then this part is when you have to hold. You're gonna have to hold the bottom while you do the top. Now this fuel line, you can pop it back like that and push this back in place where it was before. And I think we're good. I'm just gonna have to torque this bolt down, and then the plastic cover, I have to put it back, and then I'll put the oil dipstick back where it was, is here. But before you put the oil dipstick back, you have to put the plastic cover first. And all right, quick update. So you know how I was trying to place this on here? That's why it was hard to put it there. This one actually goes down here. Now what I did with the bolt, I don't know. I can't find the bolt, and I know I'll find it eventually. It was the same thing for here. That bolt right there that hold the fuel line, I could not find it, and then find out it was on the need of these because this is magnetic. I know that it's there somewhere. I have to find it. And then this line, fuel line, I clipped it back on the wall, and I reinstalled the plastic cover. I screwed the oil dipstick back and this trim right here, and now I can just place this back in there. I'm gonna put this down. Gonna have to hold it and push just like that. Good. And then this one, oh man, oh no, 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 no. Guess what happened? This thing cracked. Just my day. Now I have to go to the store and get a new one of these. And I think it was already cracking here too. You see here, it was cracking. So I have to go to the store and grab a new one. This one on this side though, it's fine. But that one right there, if you put this back on, you're gonna have a leak there that you do not want. Other than that, I think we are all good. I just have to find that bolt, and then we'll be all set. These I'll leave like this because I still have to do the valve plate leak. So that's what we're doing next. So that's gonna be it for today. And this is why I wanted to do this before summer. It's already hot outside and it's gonna be raining soon. That's how it's gonna be every day. It's gonna be hot and raining, and it's gonna be impossible for me to do this. That's why I'm trying to get this done before May. I mean before the end of May, because I know by the time June comes, it's just gonna be raining over and over and hot. So this is it for today's video. I hope you guys have a good afternoon, good night, good morning, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.